everyone. I wanted to go ahead and talk about our final unit in this course. And this is a multi-part unit, but everything leads into the next part. So the first thing that I'm asking you to do is a community profile where you find a nonprofit organization that has a local chapter or a local nonprofit organization. And basically, I'm asking you to do an in-depth audience analysis. This is a minimum of a 2-page paper. It should be academic in tone and format. However, this is a small piece so you have an idea of who your audience is for their second and third part of our unit. So some things that you can find out are things like mission statements, history, what kind of issues do they serve, who belongs to this organization, why do they get started, what programs do they have, what do other people say about them. So you're going to find out all this information about this community organization, this nonprofit organization. And from there, that will be your audience for our proposal and the PSA, our public service announcement for this unit. So if you look in the bottom of the assignment sheet down in green, I have a way that you can kind of get started to think about this. Most of you have already posted your nonprofit organization on our Unit 4 journal. If you haven't already, I recommend you do so just so I can see where you're going and maybe ask a few questions if it's an organization that deals with many issues to help you narrow down your issue so that way you kind of have a pinpointed focus for the second and third part of this unit. So as I said, there are 3 main parts for this unit. The first one is this community profile. Like I said, it's roughly 2 full pages. Most of you will end up writing slightly more than that just because there's a lot of information that's out there. The biggest thing that I notice when people do a community profile is a tendency to just kind of copy and paste what's on their website or maybe what Wikipedia has to say about them. So I'd like to remind you about plagiarism. I'd like to remind you about citing and trying to paraphrase and summarize and put this information in your own words and giving recognition to the sources, making sure that you're citing everything in full APA format. So try to make this profile yours. That's kind of my big little words of warning for this unit. The second part of this will be a proposal for action. We're going to look at several different proposal formats. What you'll notice about proposals is that they're very different. They're a very rigid, formatted paper with a lot of white space, and we'll talk more about that when you get to the proposal section. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be exploring an issue that this nonprofit deals with. You're going to look at things like maybe the cause and the effect of this issue. You're going to be looking at what this organization does to help solve this issue, fill a gap of services with this issue, anything along those lines that works within your organization. You're going to be doing research on this, and you need at least 2 scholarly sources. Most of you will have more than that. And you are going to then propose a certain course of action, the bottom part of your proposal, and you're then going to create a PSA, a public service announcement, based on that proposal. So for some of you, it might be more participation in an organization, a call for volunteer. For some of you, it could be taking a course of action as far as if you're looking at AWIC, the Anchorage Abuse Shelter, it could be something along the lines of having a program for young boys to think about what's right and wrong when we deal with women or how to express anger. It could be trying to find shelter for pets of abused families. So you could take a lot of different angles when you're looking at this, and we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. I don't want you to think so far ahead that you're not taking care of the things kind of right in front of you. Sometimes that can happen. Examples of PSAs that you can look at. Some are video recordings, some are radio recordings, and some are brochures. So you can get an idea of the array of things that you can create. it is up to you what you decide and who your audience is and who your nonprofit is, what would be the most beneficial for them. So we'll talk again more about that as we get closer to it, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of some of the types of projects that you can work on. You'll notice on the bottom of the assignment sheet that there's the breakdown of points, and each piece has its, allotted points of what is going on. Your final for this course will be that multimodal project, so we won't have a test or anything along those lines, but you'll create your PSA for that nonprofit organization for this class. This is not something that you have to submit back to that nonprofit organization. If you so desire, that will be up to you, but you do not have to do that. This is just a class project, and the nonprofit organization is just basically this audience, so you have kind of a focused audience in order to keep in mind while you're creating that PSA. So as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. So once again, the first thing that we're working on right now is that audience analysis, that community profile. That should be at least 2 full pages and full APA citation on the nonprofit of your choice. Again, please make sure you post it on the Unit 4 journal so I can approve it. And then from there, we'll start working on the next item, which is the proposal. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.